Greetings from the Friday Night Lights Hostage Diaries, December edition. Um, the 12th month, which is a magical time. In numerology, it's the Sagittarius. So, but what I'm really going to discuss is, and I'm going to try, did a 45-minute speech last night, and I think I said the F word 75 times. So I'm trying to I got to, and the reasoning is because I am infuriated at this. I see this as necessary, not really to a degree, I don't know. It's part of my mental damage, the necessity to accomplish something because my life is such a pathetic waste. And I've got 50 projects that I don't have the resources to get accomplished right now. So this is one of the things that's easily attainably done. So it's kind of a sense of accomplishment, even though it'll probably be used against me in the future and haunt me because everything seems to haunt me, even though I started writing to the media in 2007 about being kidnapped, and they made jokes of it. And they ignored it, and then it just dragged on to now where the media is guilty, so I'm probably going to die a slave hostage unless I can figure out some way. And there is literally, it's one of the craziest things ever. But I'm going to discuss how the deranged state of long-term torture, and this is not hands-on torture. This is um, mostly done through solitary, alone, um, and it could be a number of ways. There's my theory that these people are some of the dumbest people in history. They're trying to use their wizard puppet strings. They don't want to talk. It's always got to be figured out or set me up in situations to teach me some stupid lesson. It could take 30 minutes, but they'll waste 3 or 4 or 5 months of my life because I'm an oil well. I'm paying off huge. They don't give a fuck. Time's good for them. They don't give a darn. So yeah, time is good for them. They're making a lot of money off of it. Omega Watch, the Mont Blanc, Arthur Mont Blanc, which probably goes through the mouth of the Mississippi parishes and into Elba Isle liquefied natural gas. And it's a halo residual magic sorts of things. So the schematics of it is that. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I think it goes back to Chris Jackson. I was shy. I admit it. I never went out of my way. Nobody was ever nice to me. If anybody ever showed any sort of spark or interest or smile, I would talk to them. Nobody was ever nice to me. Ever. All the way back, elementary school, never. Occasionally in high school, and they used it, the mob figured this out and used it to their advantage to scar me or stab me, and they would set me up. They figured this out when I got to Texas. They knew I had been ignored, and so they used it in order to set me up because I was poorly trained in knowing, permanent marks, and that's going to be phase 2 of what I get into tonight, and how they use permanent marks to try and hate myself. Yes. So, tonight I am sponsored by Parmesan, Amber Grande. Grande Amber. Permanent marks. The, the torture went on for a long time. If you know anything about, what it is they wanted to try to bring me out of my shell. And I think this is honestly, I just saw something about Beau Rivage and Biloxi's getting a baseball team, MGM Park, the Shuckers. Bringing out of my shell. I have a casino. But I am so poor I can't use it. But they've got to bring me out of my shell naturally. Natural gas, sponsored by natural gas. It's that crazy. Billions and billions of dollars are being stolen in this Price is Right, bling ring, waste of time. Yet, they're going to coax me out of my shell. But it's going to turn me in because it took me so long that I'm a pest. to the degree of the people I need help from, or my contemporary, the artwork that I produce deals with the 20-something, 30-something crowd. But by the time they get to their 30s, they've mostly accomplished something. I'm still living on the budget of somebody in high school because I got held back. Permanent marks, RIN 1010, which I think honestly goes into 1010 Common Street in New Orleans, a Louis Skidmore property. And then there's the Skidmore in Saratoga, New York, which is the thoroughbred is their mascot. So I think that's how they do that. What they've done is they've taken my blood and pumped it into the public school and pumped it into Commonwealth, and I'm not able to use it. They've outclassed me to where I can't use my blood. I am unable to use my body and blood. That's how they justify organ theft and body snatching. So my body was replaced by some, it's like I said, it was, they took a Ferrari factory and replaced it with a used bike. And that's even a stretch. It's even worse than that. They took a Gulfstream or Trinity Yachts, which is right next to the Beau Rivage, which are some of the best yachts in the world, and they replaced it with a used bike. And I don't even get anything from the used bike. It's still Lone Star mono. It's really bizarre. So yeah, the torture went on for many years. Most of my life was job applications. I really wish I could hire lawyers. Not that I'll ever be able to hire lawyers. I got to do it public defender. I got to be handicapped to protect those that screwed me so bad. So yeah, it's if I could ever hire lawyers, I would go through and search I've got a list of all the money I ever made as far as from the Department of Social Security. There's got to be a way to check out all the W-2s or W-4s that I filled out from every job I ever had. And I could use that and that would be a good remembrance tool. But I'm sure that's one of the reasons that the mob kidnappers decided to handicap me from using lawyers like the Rainmaker. If Donnie ever gets a lawyer, we're screwed. And that's what they're doing. They're fighting, or devil's advocate, the nail through the tongue voodoo. So yeah, they're fighting to keep me away from competent lawyers. So this whole caste system is a fraud, blatant fraud, and everybody knows it. It is just blatant. Yet I can't do anything about it because I'm dead broke. I can't hire lawyers, and they've brainwashed everybody around me because of so many years of beat down degradation that I have been alienated into this castaway system based upon this genetic hack so they could steal my body. So the permanent marks were the keys. These gospel permanent marks in order to hate my name, hate myself. And I think it goes back to BLM, St. Bartholomew's global options. See, I have global options and I have global power because I am a bank officer and I have partners. And if I ever get to use those partners, I could become it. It would be like the Saints, a pro-bank board of directors or something like that. So the kidnapper frauds hate that about me. So they got to torture, and that's one of the reasons for me hating my name. My entire name has been reversed against me, so it will brainwash damage into me hating my name because of global options. They do not have the same. If this team of fraud posers goes out and about abroad, as long as they're reliant symbiosis to this grid, but they are so dopehead proud from the blood doping and the organ theft. See, they got greedy. They wanted the max upgrades, and when they got the max upgrades, it's not justifiable globally unless they attack, and take over the world, which is the reason why this is going on right now. So yeah, they wanted to, use permanent marks for these hacks in order to justify. This is the Hunger Games has been going on my entire life. It just recently, but I mean, what Hunger Games is a parasite Olympics, basically. Inside of my body, all these divisions. See, it's not like because I was never able to grow up. They want me to be natural. This has to be natural, which is stupid. I mean, obviously, money is a key part of everything in the world, but I am not it's the Brewster's Millions reversal joke. I get to use no money at all and try to control this giant. I mean, it would be like trying to run a giant or manage a giant park with just one person on a bike. You got thousands of acres or square miles, and right assets for the plucking. And everybody's swooping in, grabbing what they want, brand it, put it in their banks. So it's like me trying to manage this massive global estate with a bike and a computer. At least I have a computer now. For many, 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 many years, I didn't even have that. I was at the mercy of the local newspaper, who were obviously, newspaper, all along. It was bizarre. They were messing with my head. They've been messing with my head all along, to a degree. And it sounds paranoid, but if I can remember it distinctly, I would like to go back and go through all the old papers. If it ever got down to a case, which will probably never happen, because now they had to get, in order to say, okay, this goes into the White Zombie, Rob Zombie, House of 1,000 Corpses, Double Rejects. There was a warning. They hate the warnings. These daredevils, they hate warnings. They are brave. They do not care. There's reason though. This is not just because they don't. Their reason is, and the reason is why the world is so screwed up. So 1,000, and it goes, also you got like in one to kill one to save 1,000, sort of the opposite, because they actually want a headless horse from Sleepy Hollow being 100 years also. They want to divide up the meat because nobody else has risen up. See, the problem is this Lone Star monotheism. Nobody else has risen up. If I am able to grow up and manage the estate, I can appoint a board of directors. I can appoint officers to help me. Right now, I can't. I'm all alone. Lone Star is their. That's why Texas is their god. Lone Star, because Texas is protecting the Greek system, country club assets. Well, you got Club Corps has 300 clubs. And I think Club Corps, the CC and the KC, being my stepfather and his kids, who are part of the mob kidnappers, because they're distributing my assets. That's one of the reasons I am kept in this state of poor, very poor. These debts are sacred. They're like wealth. These debts are wealth, which is fraud in itself. I mean, it's a great payoff, but that's a fraud. That's why my life is sitting here wasting. iHeartRadio, they're having a jingle ball right now in New York, which is probably, I don't know to what degree, but I'm sure it ties into my stolen heart somehow. And it deals with the magnetism, the energy, and all that. But they're from Clear Channel CC once again, which is in San Antonio, where Valero is. The golf tournament Valero. That's where you get it. See these ranks. These ranks are fraud. If I got a lawyer, they would very easily be overturned. If it ever went to court, there would probably be billions and billions and billions of dollars in damages. That's why they fight to the death. And I mean, literally, what they did was they made it so big that now it could collapse the system. Well, the liability damages could literally, I mean, my family could end up getting hundreds of billions of dollars. Literally, hundreds of billions. If my theory turns out to be there's levels of potential, a lot of levels of theory. If it went 100% correct maximum, it could be hundreds of billions of dollars of damages, which could bankrupt. And not to mention, so that's one of the reasons they also, the infallibility of debt, because they're blood doping infallible. So the debt is used as a gravitational force to bury the hostages. Then they're attacking globally in order to seize control because it's a global bank, because they hate me. So yeah, you got a bunch of these fraud, and I say fraud when they plug into me, and I get zero money from it. That is a fraud. I don't care who they are paid. Honestly, obviously there are some poser pimps out there getting paid for my services, and that deals with these underworld loan sharking schematics, the Barleys, that tie into these luxury goods creators, the music and the energy for entertainment, the fashion industry, Richardson, Texas, fossil wallets and watches. I'm sure it ties into all those. It's all raw pooled value that they find ways to connect into, and then it's a competition to distribute raw value. So where was I going? Oh yeah, permanent marks. They go back, and when I first got into Texas, obviously Texas was, I was sent there to be executed or to be, obviously I was being murdered. It was, yeah, Bevo the 4-H cow. That's what it was. They were counting on me to be Bevo the 4-H cow. Or I could, I had a chance, but I was poorly raised. I didn't have a clue. I was very one of they. Then again, they used it against me because I was shy, because nobody ever went out of their way to be nice or anything to me. So I had self-esteem issues. I had girls that lived all around me, but nobody was ever really like knocking on the door saying, "Hey, let's play or do something. Let's hang out. Let's talk." Or any. I had a few, and we spent a good amount of time together. So yeah, I had self-esteem shy issues. So they had to pull me from the shell as far as years and years and years and years. But now I'm trying to escape. I've got all this proof now. I'm sitting on a gold mine. So now I am trying to find people. That's the crazy part about this. The whole Lafayette Square thing is I could probably, if these people were smart enough and business savvy, they could make $1 million off of me pretty easy. And most people around here could not make $1 million. Literally, they could if they were smart enough and they helped me work on my business and my case, they could probably make $1 million. Yet I'm chasing them down and begging them to be my friend. That's how fucking that's how crazy this really is. I get, it's like an avalanche. I don't have any balance. Lone star, alone, so I'm bouncing off the walls. And so I get agitated and revved up because I'm so pissed off about this whole case. So I get virulent and vulgar. So, yeah, I don't mean to be, but that's just, I have no balance mechanism. Once again, it goes back to the alpha omega. Alpha being Alpharetta Georgia Colonial Pipeline, which gets all my goodies, and then omega being, or my estate's goodies, me being an alpha bank officer. And me, I don't even get the omega anymore. I mean, that's the crazy part about it is, I don't even, they gutted me. They're fighting over what the leftovers. They just keep passing me around to get stabbed and speared by these parasites so they can that's why every bite of food I have has no value at all. It's like and it's all based on these fraud hacks, permanent marks. And which is absolutely insane. So the world economy is royally screwed. If you know anything about business, I saw something on Drudge today. It is mathematically impossible to ever pay back the U.S. debt. That's just the U.S. debt. There are so many other levels of debt out there. Unfunded liabilities, there's personal debt, there's state debt, there's local debt, there's pension plans, there's credit card debt, there's student loans, all that. So, I mean, yeah, it's a nightmare. Yet they keep on partying. I'm trying to fix the problem. So, questioning um, the ability to control or manage the flow of my own blood. Use my own body. I am a slave. My body has been stolen. And they torture me they lie to my face. Like I said, if this is fiction, great. It would be really easy to make at least a few $1,000,000. This is a really, really, really good story. But since they fight so hard, it makes me think there's a lot of legitimacy to it. Or they're just crazy, which is very possible. But yeah, somebody would have come up with something. They patched me in. It's like they spliced me in. I imagine, as far as it's like Jurassic World, like I said before. They splice in parts of my genes to these mutants and give them superhuman powers. So let's see. Killing them softly, soft drinks, pay for pride, Mythbusters, Vanity Kills. Oh, I was gonna go into. Well, let's see. Yeah, the Hunger Game. Oh, the Hate Myself. I mean, well, the Global Options is a big. They 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 beat us down so bad in order to not be afraid. Well, it's like, okay, I didn't finish it up on the thousand. Okay, so let's say a House of 1,000 Corpses. So the Purple Haze Brothers, they were dumb enough to not do the right thing. They tried to hide it. They wanted to make me a normal person. So they had this abort self-destruct clause, I think, which was supposed to be tortured suicide or homeless or something off the grid. Which they make my mother pay for, which infuriates me to a degree, but she's not smart enough because she's JV, which because they were raised to not be smart enough because I got hacked. So yeah, all these people that hacked me then they go to church and you got these wedding vows and you've got these magic jewelry that then cleans their slate. In order for them, so all the people that have screwed me in the past, these 1,000 people or so, are then clear. And then I have to be bit. That's one of the ways of shrinking me down. When they get married or something, it shrinks me down because I have to turn the other cheek to save them because they go to church. Even though by saving them, it is costing trillions of dollars. That is why the warning is there. The House of 1,000 Corpses. Rob Zombie. Devil's Reject. That's why it has gotten so far out. So you got these, and that's one of the reasons they had to drag me off to some high value. That's what I got dragged off to Jackson, and I went to Aspen on my own. I admit that, but they should have done something. I thought they got to be smart enough to figure something out. I mean, I hung up signs, Louis Edge Fund. They could have turned and given Aspen. It's like, yeah, they could have given Aspen a lot of options, but instead they were gambling on screw. And they've got some options to a degree, to some levels, but not near. If they would have helped me, they could have had a lot of big muscle options, not to mention global. So yeah, they had to get some. They had to get some rich people on the hook to justify it. So then the devil's rejects are the 1,000 corpses by these people that have screwed me. But we're talking about trillions of dollars globally. I didn't know this. I had to figure it out on my own. But I had a vital mission: manage the estate. But they wanted the no fences. They are fighting to keep me in the woods. They want me with no fences because they've set up all these schemes. And the problem is, I have no problem with the oil wells. The problem is the amplified value. That's what I'm used for. They're just not satisfied with oil or the gallon of gas. They want this gallon of gas to be magic. They're exponentially increasing the valuation of it. And then not to mention you've got residual experience points that are tacked on, which don't really make any sense. It's like every gallon of gas. Your odometer is like being on Dungeons and Dragons experience points to where you get more power for spells and stuff. But in actuality, you're not really doing anything, but you're just getting upgrade, 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 upgrade. So yeah, by saving these few people, it has cost the world dearly. Europe is going to die because of these few sacred individuals, because they were unwilling to pay. And they challenged, well, I was poorly raised, and they refused to forget for some reason. Then it goes back to Beastie Boys' License to Ill was another warning sign. But they wanted revenge to prove they were brave. So by revenge, and we're talking about long term revenge. If they would have quit the revenge 10 years ago, it just keeps going on and on and on and on. These permanent marks want me to hate myself. Yeah, and so it keeps going on and on and on and on and on, and on. Revenge. And so the problem is the system has gotten way out of control. And they know it. They can't control it now. It's flabbergasted me to look at people in the system still partying and acting like, it's absolutely insane. The amount of money that's owed, and I mean, the worst investment ever. Zero, all these wealthy people that I helped make, worst investment ever. Literally, one of the worst investments ever. No return. They go out and, they help people keep me kidnapped. I back their money. I provide them insurance. I provide them health care, all this sorts of stuff through my organization, and then they use it against me. It's just crazy. And to the degree of, it's this whole reversal. Well, it goes back to the organ theft and body theft. It's a legitimization of the fraud organ theft based upon this debt that I am not allowed to pay back because I am blacklisted. I mean, if I sold a book, I could easily pay everything off like that. And then, because once I do that, I make some deals and it opens the door. But they've got to keep me extremely poor, reverent. See, the reverent part about this, the only way to save these people is to destroy the world. And they are not worth it. I do not care. They are not worth it. Their dope tells them they are. The system dope tells them they're worth it, but they are not worth it. Absolutely not. I mean, when you destroy Europe, there are going to be nightmare conclusions. I mean, it's going to haunt the world for hundreds and hundreds of years. Europe has a vital part in this world, and they're going to destroy it so these sacred livestock can avoid paying anything for their super upgrades, which makes no sense at all. Trophy hunters or something. So that's why they're worshiping. And they had to alienate me. Oh, well, because I have global options. They do not share. They're going to make me a loyal slave because they outrank me, and they're loyal. They have to be because they don't have the global option. So they've got to torture me to be loyal. The whole craziness of this dungeon master torturing me to make it seem real. The horror, the nightmare makes it seem real. Because it really is. Because it took, I mean, yeah, I would it's beyond any comprehension of how poorly this was mismanaged. I mean, this is one of the worst scams in the history of the world, without a doubt. I mean, just absolutely, literally. If this ever goes to trial, I mean, we're talking about it's going to look like one of the worst things in the history of the world. That's why they are fighting to the death to hide this. I mean, they've sold their soul to corporations. Terminators and Transformers are the gods of the future. Return of the King is dead. With the leg, Cobra Kai, Karate Kidnappers. I mean, they killed it. I mean, they're going to kill. They have to kill Europe. Europe's strength is blood and heritage and culture, and they are attacking, so they can print more cash for their brand, which is crazy. I mean, their dope makes them do it. They're infallible because they're guilty. So they can't quit. They're addicted, and their roid rage is their fear. So they've got to torture me. So now what they've done with me, they've they've set it up to where me being literate is actually going to kill me because they are illiterate and they worship degrees and they're magic fairy tale math and they're illiterate ebonics. So they've set it up to where they've set up the schematics to where I do the right thing. I play the logic game of capitalism, and if I read it correctly, it ends up making it. It turns the corporations against me because the corporations are tied into this massive growth hormone that I provide factored in because there were no fences. So yeah, me being literate and doing the right thing. Either I'm a loyal dog and I shut up and sit there while they attack the world, or I do the right thing and I try to correct it, and then I alienate a lot of the muscle. So then the people without the global options, because they did not want to build a bridge, they refused to share. They worship these fraud ranks to the death. They will fight to the death for their fraud ranks. Friday Night Lights, it's that crazy. I mean, it's just me. I mean, we're talking about one person, but it represents millions of people. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to jump above, and then they're using this poker face or battle. Who's got the highest card gets the pot, and that means they can go in and scoop up all the assets while they're going around and branding everything. I mean, they have the strongest system right now out of necessity, but there was no balance. The A&M was reversed. It's M&M Mars or Juan V or something like that. So yeah, there's no accountable balance. So me doing the right thing actually alienates the corporations against me. So that's the joke. They're illiterate and they worship diplomas as this rank. The Friday Night Light gamblers or whatever it is, or the SEC big brothers, they're actually illiterate and they use a magic math that doesn't make any sense. It's alchemy. So me exposing the omerta or me being the golden snitch to their wizardry is then turn these corporations against me because I don't know. We'll have to see. The corporations, are they really that crazy? Because all I'm trying to do is fix the glaring issue. I mean, you got to look at the economies. I mean, the dollar could collapse real easy. That's one of the reasons they've got to attack globally is to protect the dollar. It's like who's got the worst. It's like the USA is the best house in the ghetto. It's got the worst. I mean, the best of the worst. And so there's all the economies with the exception of China. China's loving it. Thank you. Great. China is loving it. China is the big winner in all of this, and that's one of the other reasons they've got to justify. They're going to try to play the Mad Max card where they run out of assets. So that China, even though China can go is right now, and while the oil prices are at a record low, China is buying and buying and buying tons of oil. Of course, they got tons of cash, lots and lots of cash. So they're going to go on a buying spree and attack everything. So then that justifies counterbalance for USA corporations to justify Shark Tank attack, rather than just, amicably agreeing to, responsibly develop. They want to play the race car game, which is absolutely crazy. So, Friday Night Lights, iHeartRadio, Jingle Ball, prostate cancer. Well, I have no animosity against Lance Armstrong. I'm a fan of Texas, even though I'm having to, because parts of Texas attacked me. I'm still a fan of Texas. Um, Savannah screwed up bad. Savannah had a clean slate when I arrived, but they gambled on doing nothing, literally nothing. And I had to go out and do it all myself, and I had zero money. And they know my mother's crazy, and they know my stepfather is guilty crazy, and they know my sister is worthless. So my brother-in-law's zero help. I got zero help. I had zero money. So yeah, Savannah really, really screwed up. So I had to turn against Texas, which then it's like me donating Texas to Georgia rather than me having muscle in Texas because I have to try to eat something. Or by me being literate, I have to expose part of the scams which connect into Austin and Houston. So then, therefore, because I did the right thing and exposed, I was a golden snitch or something like that, then they're going to side against me. So then, therefore, by doing nothing, it's then, therefore, me trying to escape is bad for that to a degree. I don't know. So, yeah, Jingle Ball, Lance Armstrong, dummy, because I but in actuality, because of all of the blood doping, there is some massive, massive, massive blood doping. Organ theft. I mean, it's like they took my entire heart, chopped it into pieces, and used it to enhance everybody else's heart. Um, that's iHeartRadio to a degree. It's the magnetism and the power of these thousands of radio stations. Then you got on one side, then you got Clear Channel CC, you got my stepfather CC, the Caldwell Zoo, and then you've got Club Court CC. Then you got Casey, the Casey's on the other side, which are the kittens. Casey Royals, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Keycore, which deals with the Ohio, which is prevalent in this. So yeah, Club Core's got all the rich people who are worthless, and iHeartRadio Clear Channel's got a bunch of the jangle change. So yeah, reverse anything. Game torture. Oh yeah, I am unable to provide competent health care to myself. I should have a dietitian. I should be able to eat whatever I want. I can't. That's the Smoothie King joke. They've even got on Broughton and Whitaker Street the Occitane, which is Provence from Provence, France. Pretty smelly things, which I use their soap before. I can't afford to right now. Their soap is like $8 a bar. Then they've got across from that Paris Market, right next to that Smoothie King, which is from Louisiana, and the Smoothie King Arena, where the Pelicans play. And then they've got across from that a beauty shop, of course. So yeah, I should be like drinking, being very healthy, eating, but I have I can't afford a dietitian. I can't afford to go to a health club. I can't afford to go to a competent doctor. I can't afford to do genetic testing and check out where the problems are going to be. Even though I give away billions of dollars in healthcare, my state does. Nonprofit altruism, humility. They're going to teach me humility for giving and giving. Not to mention the ego of them having to take. So yeah, they make me pay for them giving and taking. So I've got to be humble. And they get mad because they have to be given stuff. Because they are not independent proud. Once again, it goes back to global options that I have that I am not able to use, that they're going to use against me by permanent marks, being the curse upon me. Which are it's gotten so far over the line. So yeah, I am not able to, about all I can do is ride my bike or jog. I can't go to a health club or go to a trainer. I can't go to a dietitian. I can't really afford to eat. I should eat fruit like 7 meals a day, but I can't afford it. So yeah, it's really, really bad. Let me see what else. And this is all because I have to be handicapped to keep me small. Embarrassed? Fair ass. Full moon fever. Poison the state by poisoning me. Noise pollution, of course. They're going to haunt me. That's, once again, I'm set up. It's like a bullseye. They set me up for these. Certain numerology is huge. Because when they hacked me, I should have one of the strongest immunity systems. Very little in my real body, very little should hurt. But when I got the reverse, and they used money and the law and healthcare as a way to and shrunk and kidnapped long-term presidents, um, infections to justify it. Not to mention the brainwash. So yeah, my body should be one of the strongest in the world, but they stole my body. And so then, therefore, I am unable to everything. I go down on everything. I go down Moses. William Faulkner book. Nobel Peace Prize. That's the hawks killing some doves. So yeah, I go down on anything and everything. So it's like they will, it's like if one person smokes a cigarette around me, I pay, because they connect to that network or something, regardless the cost analysis, because it's always the less miles is deemed miles rewards. So yeah, because this does not 99.9999. I mean, I'm one of the rarest people, I guess, around. Well, because anybody else with this much value, they can afford protection. They raised me to be this pathetic and weak and exposed, vulnerable, and to distribute all of this power. So yeah, Seth, I am unable to protect myself. And I go down on anything and everything. My pimps get paid for me to do that too. So yeah, so I go down on. I always take a dive, always lose. Anything that crosses my path will poison me because it's like bubble boy. You get an immunity problem. So if I go out and the mob learned it, so they pass me around and plug me into these different schemes. And they've done this for years and years and years and years. Obviously, there is collusion between. Well, what happens is the wealthy, the club core, worthless Greeks do not lift a finger because I am unable to prove my existence. Justifiable, tangible proof. Because I cannot afford to prove if I had the money or the assets, I could very easily make myself look very, 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 very legit with all the patterns of evidence. Because patterns are proof in science. If there are patterns, that's proof. Gravitational patterns, that's proof. But they will not allow me to put these pieces together. So now it's just a big jumble. If you can see it, you can read it, and I put the pieces together, but they ignore me. Boycott, blacklist. So yeah, I am unable to prove myself, therefore, because I do not have any cash. Cash is king. So then, therefore, I am then used. That's once again, that's a reversal. My strength is used against me because I'm legit. Then they use me to screw me. Use it to screw me. Rigged schemes. Killing in soft drinks. Pay for pride. Mythbusters. Yeah, Mythbusters were terrible. Thousands. Oh, it was terrible. My entire life used to be looking at the one ad. It was a joke. They wanted me to go out and beg. Well, like I said, when they want to try to force me into church. I should be the last person to go to church. Literally, I should not go to church. But the sacred Christians, especially the Catholics are losing the most. Catholics are not very funny, obviously. They're very, very, very proud because they're big, fat, huge opulent. So they learned how to use that against them. And so they're paying tons to get screwed. So yeah, they do not lift a finger. If they would have helped me build a bank They could party all they want, but they did not. They wanted the no fixes, unanswered prayers, thunder, so they could loot the estate. So now the tricks are out playing. They did not allow any me. And like I said, I don't care. Get somebody else to do it, because then I could prove. If the estate proves itself, then I have a place with it, regardless of what happens. I don't know to what degree. I've been screwed so bad. I've been dragged around for so long to tarnish, to justify it. Even if I ever escape, they're always playing to the future. If I ever escape, they want to be able to take from me. So, if I escape, they've dragged me around enough, and they've tarnished me and tortured me enough to alienate people so they can steal from whatever in case. And they're always playing for the future, because I'm vulnerable. I can't do anything. I'm not allowed to defend myself. They just drag me around and hack me and hack me and hack me. So, where was I going with that? Cheat, diet and health, permanent marks. Always the permanent marks. I mean, from high school, I am still haunted by permanent marks. The reason is, most people, they pay one time. They don't matter. That's the thing. Who cares? Oh, you got a permanent mark. Who cares? They're using it against me because I was never allowed to grow up. Because I have billion-dollar deep pockets, permanent marks become wells to siphon money. Because, and then again, you got they play all the sides. It's like my cousin's initials are HAH, like half and half. So, I'm not allowed to drink half and half, even though he's my family, blood relative. But the mob, all these poser nobodies, this is how the mob works. It goes like cable guy. You got their knight with their Burger King hat on, with the cut. My knight's color is. They can use his assets, my family's assets, but I can't. They will fight to keep me from using those assets, even though these poser nobodies who follow them or work actually they're actually killing them softly, or then they are able to use his assets because we're vulnerable, because we live in a no-fences estate, and so then therefore that's justification for it. That's his permanent marks, or then they're used as wells to distribute the assets. So they always figure anything I get, and I've got a certain price range, so they can hack to anything is then it goes into the Skinner thing, Scalper Skinner, the sensory deprivation parasites. Anything I see, anything I hear, anything I taste, anything I smell, anything I touch. Touch is the new one. I am not allowed to touch. I've got to, if I touch, it's like a condom. I can't touch anything. That's the bubble. Because if I touch anything, I might escape, and it's not me. The bubble doesn't protect me, it protects them. They're the frauds. It's this organ that. So if I get outside of the bubble and escape, it might expose the fraud, because I might get help. It's like I'm not allowed to use my skill. They're trying to wait, handicapping, while the world is falling apart. Europe is dead from this handicapping. United States is going to be an irreconcilable balance sheet. Dead. Because they wanted to more handicap. These crazy, these wealthy, these worthless wealthy that won't lift a finger because they're worried about the Bloomberg millionaire rank. They're just crazy fucking stupid pigs. They will not lift a finger. They do not understand the necessity. Louisiana is a vital part that has been hijacked by the bull mob. And we need to get Louisiana out of control of the bull mob and put things back into order. So the wealthy do not, for some reason, it would benefit the wealthy, but they're crazy. The wealthy really are crazy. Not very bright. They get played by the poor, obviously. So, Where was I going with that? Permanent marks. Thrashing. Yeah. Beauty shop. Oh, always the beauty shop. I mean, justified. I do not. So anything that goes wrong, they just make me look like a bozo clown for thrashing, and it makes it's kind of like, well, look how stupid he looks, and he's got. And once again, using the global options against me. Global options are the beauty shop because my global options are validity, credibility. So um, they pull the thrashing bozo on me, and that's beauty shop because of global options for these nobody. See, if a bunch of nobody posers, two broke girls, the sacred almighty whores, can make me look, humiliate me, then they must be super, super special valuable. That's a crazy, crazy logic that they use. But hey, the beauty industry allows it. It really is bizarre, crazy as to figuring out how that works. So, Paper Pride, Mythbusters, Vanity Kills. Oh, they're gonna try to kill the. Well, it's like rather than yeah, it's at vital times. There really is an anarchy revolution. It's like the worthless British aristocracy around here will not lift a finger um, to help because they want control of my sister. They want to divide the family. They want to spread us apart. They were more worried about spreading us apart and weakening us than they are about protecting the crown. That's the crazy, crazy part about it. So so the lessons are going to be these vanity pride lessons, killing them softly once again. So if it collapses, they could say, well, look, you were proud. The whole 007 J.W. Pepper joke thing. I mean, they could easily, somebody at MI6 or Interpol could easily help me escape to some level to where I can hire some lawyers. All I'm trying to do is hire some lawyers. I want to hire a lawyer. That's my whole motive is to hire some competent lawyers and financial advisors. But I am not allowed to. That's my motive. Yeah, I would like to be able to do something rather than just waste my Friday night life in prime ribs here on me, buffet. Wasted. I can't afford to even go get a drink. I can't afford to go out to a bar. This is out of my price range. This was $13. Parmesan, Ron Denver, brandy. Out of my price range. Can't afford to go have drinks. That's how crazy it is. They're trying to keep me, they think of me as a disease because I am the victim, providing them with slave-free power as reverence to the past, which is stupid. Rather than building a bridge to the future, they're trying to rectify things. But yeah, they're gonna lose a lot of. There's a lot of people to blame here. Permanent marks, torture, scary. So let me see if there's anything else. I think that was good. I didn't cuss that much. Kind of nice. Rarity for me, because I usually just get so infuriated at this whole situation. Maybe it was the liquor. Calm me down to a degree. I probably, I'm just so agitated and inflamed and infuriated and can't get anything done. Nowhere to go. No help at all. I mean, literally, any of these stupid kids. I don't mean to be mean. They just don't have a clue. They don't listen. That was what it's going to be the joke of being in Savannah, in old houses, and I'm older, they will not pay me any attention, even though I could make them really easily a millionaire. Literally, if they're smart enough, they could easily make $1 million with me, easily. I mean, I'm sitting on at least a project that's an easy 25 million if I put the right pieces together. That's just one project. But yeah, that's gonna be a lesson taught, MythBusters or whatever. So many levels going on about it. It's just absolutely crazy. They want me to go out. I don't get it. It makes no sense at all. It'd be such an easy fix. That's the reason I'm so pissed off at my mother and stepfather, my sister, my in-laws. It is so easy for me to make at least a few $100,000 or a few million probably if they would help me put some pieces together. I just can't do anything. They just do not. I don't get it. That's why, that's why nobody. I can't get anything done. They want me under control. They must. It's got to be the organ theft body snatchers. Organ theft body snatchers must be a huge, huge network for the public. I mean, that's the crazy thing. Public school cost me trillions of dollars. Trillions. You know, I kissed a girl. My first kiss was actually in a public school, and this was not a nice girl. So yeah, that permanent mark haunted me. You know, the infection of that. You know, anything. It's always these permanent marks. I pay trillions of dollars, so I contribute all these Sacred Heart skirts to the pot, while they give me nothing, and they ravage and loot and all the assets and all that sort of stuff. It's just absolutely crazy. It is. It's public. I had no idea at the time. And maybe I wasn't supposed to figure this out. It's like well, obviously the oil industry is kind of dirty. So they basically just shot me and they buried me and they were just going to keep me in a well. That's what they did with the rest. My father, he doesn't even know. He fight. I mean, he calls, they're giving away millions of billions of dollars and they yell at me and call me loony. All I'm trying to do is figure something out. I don't know if it's true or not. A lot of evidence there, though. So yeah, they shoot us and bury us in wells to distribute, and unable to. So yeah, I paid trillions of dollars to go to. On my birthday, Stephen Colbert report had Jack Kingston, which is the local representative from Savannah, in this district. He was doing Alice Cooper's Schools Out, which is a joke because I'm still paying for school. Well, what it is, Bull Street, the four corners there. Independent Presbyterian Church. First Presbyterian is where my mother was married to this doctor. And on Irving Street. Irving is where Chuck E. Cheese is. It's where Exxon is. It's where Neiman Marcus Direct Mail is. It's where maybe Kimberly Clark. I don't know. There are a few others in Irving. Mostly, then there's the Girl Scout House, which is a worthless investment here. Then there is the Chatham Board of Education, 1788. See, my initiation number was 178. And so then they justify, this is one of those bonds. So that's where that's the Trojan horse, the hollow parasite. So that's the public school still making me pay for going to public school from Bull Street. And then there was the Kate Lyons on the other side, and this Collins Porters, which is a place that just opened, coffee shop and place. The four corners on the corner of Oglethorpe and Bull Street. And right there near Forrest Gump Park with all the four lions, obviously. And, oh yeah, so public school cost me I didn't know. Like I said, if they would have ever diagnosed me and given me, once I ever did take Dexedrine or Adderall, my smart level went up 1,000-fold. Literally, I was a dumbass when I was a kid. It was like I was living in a cloud, and I was blind, and I was my self-esteem issues were down and all that sort of stuff. So, or they could have told me, like, look, giving me a tutor or something. But instead, they wanted to try to raise me in the wild like Jungle Book in order to screw us. And they had to bury my whole family because of this. So my family, that's the crazy part about all of this. My aunt was a lifetime worker at the Department of Labor of the state of Louisiana. Worthless. That's one of the reasons the government's almost bankrupt. See, the fraud doctor Lord has got to kill my entire family or bury us or discredit us because he has stolen all they're using the Bible as a weapon. My brother does not count. They're trying to put all my father's estate into me. And then they distribute it. So they've got to destroy my entire family. That's one of the reasons I think, honestly, that you got this. The United States government, the public sector, is going to implode. My family was never able to grow up or evolve because we were poorly mismanaged by LSU and by Louisiana. So you've got that, and my aunt was a teacher for the state. So it's not enough that my family gave their lives. We have to. I'm paying trillions of dollars to go to Texas public schools, be their lunch for their sacred Longhorns, which is crazy. I have no problem. The problem is it's whoever's running the show that's a scam, and that's why Stephen Colbert did "Schools Out" by Alice Cooper on my birthday with Jack Kingston, public, because the story ever broke. My family, we did a lot, and we were kidnapped, honestly. So, and another reason, you got this fraud lord doctor is in charge, stealing. He's actually taking over the whole, trying to take over the whole state. We're talking about one or two diplomas. Two diplomas. He's going to take over the entire state. You talk about the deal it kept me alive for a while when they tried to murder me by suicide, homeless suicide from classified ads, go out and beg to make those. The problem is, this is what I have the problem with, the mob or whatever. It's these businesses. The pride of these individually owned businesses. I mean, great. Wonderful. You are a success. Great. Very happy for you. The problem is, they want to bleed me dry. That's who attacked me. Because you got a bunch of these managers and these owners of these businesses, these restaurants, that attacked me. And that's who's playing, that's the accomplices between, I mean, they're barely millionaires. Some of them might be, to a degree. But we're talking about billions and billions and billions of dollars. Not to mention they lost all their, Louisiana made one of the worst strategic moves ever. They needed to get bigger. They have no muscle at all. I mean, and they're sitting there, they could have done something. They have no muscle at all because of these little bitty businesses that pride, these drunk, super, super drunk business owners that wanted to screw me, did not let me grow up. So now Louisiana is the big loser. We lose it. There's no, that's why they lost Shaw. That's why they lost Freeport McMoran. That's why they lost Shell Oil. That's why they lost Tidewater. That's why we got Baton Rouge has WFMF owned by iHeartRadio Clear Channel, one of 3,000 radio stations. But because these sacred stakes, these businesses, these restaurants that wanted to screw me and tease me and make a bozo joke of me for their own drunk pride, they're they don't even own WFMF. That's the joke. iHeartRadio. So now they are Texas dogs. That's why Louisiana parishes are Texas county dogs, because they did not allow us to grow up. And so they have no recourse at all. Savannah bit hard. They sell me into public slavery. The public school contest. It's like Avatar. Avatar is very, very accurate in my case. Bowling pin, call it what you will. Grateful Dead set me up to knock me down. I mean, who the fuck is bowling? Excuse my language. Who the heck is there? Who are these people? And nobody. Then to shrink me down in order to let these super nobodies be able to knock me over. So it's like Georgia Pacific or Louisiana Pacific Titans saying that, go out and beg to make people a millionaire. That's how stupid it is. So yeah. So yeah. They knock, it's like Avatar. That's where I was going with it. Avatar. Where they knock over the tree because all of that cheddar unobtainium is underneath. And that's what we are. We give out a lot of cheddar unobtainium. And that's it. That's what's going on. They knock me over. They set me up, knock me over, and they're going out there mining all the power, which is destroying the European government. destroying the European system because they cannot compete. They used it against them, which was crazy. So China's the big winner, and Latin America is going to be turned into a big mess, probably. Rather than building a picturesque society in Latin America, it's going to be turned into a sprawl, nasty mess. That's terrible because of the beauty shop of the necessity of validating the United States inferiority complex and the beauty shop because of my slave master. That's really what's going on, which is a horrible, horrible, horrible lie. So, Friday Night Lights, I'm going to do nothing. Stuck here. All right, that's about it.